You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, 6 different fire departments respond to a Newton County house fire.
But first, a firefighter meets the pup he rescued from a frozen lake in a pretty heartwarming story.
And no frozen lakes out there, but we will be a bit colder today compared to yesterday. Warmer weather on the horizon, though. We'll go over the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is just after 7 a.m. on this Wednesday, February the 4th. That means we are, 10 days away from Valentine's Day. Hopefully you're ready if you need to get ready. And maybe you can just treat yourself too. You single folks can treat yourself. And then you don't have to worry about it not impressing the other person. All you have to do is impress yourself.
The only person I have to impress is my cat. And I give them each a little can of tuna, and they're thrilled to death.
Are you sure though? Because cats can be pretty hard to impress. They
seem
pretty
happy
picky
with it.
Okay, as long as they seem happy with it.
They haven't clawed me to death in my sleep.
That's good. So, that's certainly good.
Progress.
And this isn't necessarily about a cat, but the cat's enemy in a way. At least that's how Tom and Jerry in the cartoons back in the day portrayed it. A dog that needed a little help.
Well, a St. Louis firefighter got to visit a memorable life he saved just a couple weeks ago.
Now, her name is Piper. She's a dog who fell through some ice. Melanie Johnson has the story.
We got you, Bubba.
A dog trapped under frozen waters on one of the coldest days in January.
Paddle back, I got him.
The call came in as a dog in distress.
The dog was pretty cold, so she wasn't moving a whole lot.
When St. Louis firefighter Private Gary Zarbo and his partner arrived, they realized they were not just fighting the clock, they were fighting the freeze. The single-digit temperature so brutal, it forced the crew to pivot to Plan B on this icy lake in O'Fallon Park.
Motor wouldn't start on the boat because it was so cold, so we just grabbed paddles and went to Plan B and paddled out and picked her up. I got him.
Braving the cold temperatures and uncertainty of the ice, this was this firefighter's first rescue mission on the ice in his 12-year career.
We always prepare for the worst. I mean, we put ice suits on, we get ready to go. Come on, big guy.
The rescue, less than a minute, watched close to 9 million times on social media.
I saw the video. I goes, that's my dog.
Eddie Simmons Jr.'s dog, Piper, had been missing for 14 days. The retired city police officer desperately searching for her after she escaped out of his North City fence.
This lady right here just wants to run. I was getting ready for work. My phone rings, the animal patrol said, hey, we got your dog.
On Monday, Piper and the firefighter met again.
Your whole face full of ice last time I saw you.
Reunited on dry land.
Thanks again, man. I appreciate it. Man, I appreciate it.
The two first responders sharing a bond to serve and now a furry friend.
We're just in the field where you want to help.
Piper, a reminder for this firefighter turned hero of the why behind his uniform.
We deal with so much on this job that some people that you can't ever unsee, that days like today make you feel good about what you do.
Talk about an impressive story, and it's great that they got to go back and see Piper under better circumstances as well.
They were talking about how it's a reminder of them of why they do what they do, and I'm sure this will be a reminder for Piper to be careful when she's going out on some walks.
Absolutely, yeah, and everybody's got to be that way, and that's an issue around here. There were some frozen areas on water, but the ice here was just too thin to go out on, so you do want to be cautious. You don't want to mess around because we don't get nearly as cold as it does up north, so ice skating not necessarily recommended.
I know we had some horse rescues going on, stuff like that happening. So
got to be careful out there. It may look like it's frozen over, but it's probably not nearly as thick as it seems. And it's not going to necessarily be frozen over today, but we will still be a little colder than yesterday. We're going to start with our live look from downtown Pittsburgh. Cloudy skies out there, so a little bit on the dark side still, but it's going to stay cloudy really through the day. Westco camera 7th and range line in Joplin. Again, the biggest issues we have with snow now is just what's been piled up mainly on the parking lots, and that's going to continue to melt for us as we head through the next few days. A KDOT camera. Okay, now we got some daylight. We had snow on Monday here. Then we had just a bit yesterday. Now most of it's gone. This is, of course, KDOT camera 69 just north of Baxter Springs. And our last stop, the MoDOT camera 32nd in range line in Joplin, looking down to the south. Still some snow on the sidewalk, not nearly as much as what there was. Again, most of it's confined to parking lots and stuff where it's been plowed up and piled up out there. We have not been as cold as what the overnight low last night was expected to be. We were expecting seasonably cold temperatures back to the mid-20s. The closest we've come, I think we had Iola drop down to 28 this morning. That's been about it. Most of us, we've been just kind of hovering in the low to mid 30s. Most of these temperatures haven't moved a lot. Now, we do have that light north breeze, and thankfully it's light. You can see what it's already doing to the wind chills, though. A lot of 20s out there, so it does feel a little bit on the colder side as you're heading out this morning. Future track showing, again, the cloudy or mostly cloudy skies, so you may get a few peaks of sun here and there. An isolated sprinkle or two possible through the afternoon, early evening hours, but again, not much expected. Most of us won't see anything, and those that do, it's not expected to add up to too terribly much out there. We're going to be about 30 by 9 a.m., mid-30s by noon, and highs today are right around 40. So up north, you have some upper 30s, down south, maybe low 40s. North breeze continues at 5 to 10. Winds ramp up tomorrow, bringing in much warmer air. We'll go over that with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A house fire in Newton County last night was followed by an extensive response from emergency services. Fire agencies that responded included crews from Reddings Mill, Diamond, Neosho, Seneca, Dunaweg, and Joplin. The large residence was located about a mile from Spurgeon Township. No injuries to residents or firefighters were reported. An Ottawa County judge reduces a fatal hit-and-run sentence by 6 months. The incident happened on February 5th, 2022. At the time, authorities found a man who appeared to have been hit by a vehicle. The man, Kwang Jin Yi, was pronounced dead at the scene. The investigation revealed McBrien hit Yi and left the scene. Mindy McBrien pled no contest to the charges. Originally, Judge Matt Whalen sentenced Mindy McBrien of Fairland, Oklahoma, to a 5-year suspended sentence for first-degree manslaughter and a 4-year sentence for leaving the scene of a fatal accident. Last month, Judge Whalen decided to take the 6 months off McBrien's 4-year sentence. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says it doesn't have enough troopers to cover the state 24/7, and the ones who are currently working are stretched thin. Right now, 766 troopers are responsible for all 77 counties. Because of the shortage, some counties don't have around-the-clock coverage. OHP says the rural areas are feeling the biggest impact. Leaders say the problem comes down to retirements, limited academy funding, and fast population growth. They estimate they need nearly double the current staff to provide full 24/7 coverage. That's why the agency is hoping to hire 150 new troopers over the next 18 months.
What we're seeing is we're really pushing our troopers that we currently have. We're really pushing them to the max. These guys are on call for numerous counties multiple times a night. So they really don't have that off-duty life.
Lieutenant Southall says full staffing is the only long-term fix and warns the shortage could create safety risks. The 76th Trooper Academy is accepting applications now through March 31st. Vernon County Commissioners yesterday approved a proposal to add a question to April's ballot. The decision took place at a public meeting. The question could mean changes to the county's health care access as it's proposing a hospital district. KOAM's Kenny Foreman has more.
A procedural commission meeting turned into a heated public forum over a proposed hospital district that could increase property taxes. Some residents felt the commissioners overstepped by approving it to be on the ballot, but officials ensured that the Nevada Regional Medical Center got the required signatures for the move.
I think there was a little misunderstanding that a lot of people thought we had more authority perhaps than we did, but no, I am glad that everyone turned out, and I think we had good exchange of ideas and information, and that's always good.
There is also concern over a conflict of interest with Northern Commissioner Cindy Thompson, who also serves on the hospital board.
You're sitting there taking money from the taxpayers to be the Northern Commissioner, and you're openly soliciting people to sign your petition for the hospital. That's just one example of the conflict. She is the Northern Commissioner, and she is also the board president for the hospital.
Supporters say having the county oversee its hospitals will create better opportunities.
I absolutely recognize that an increase in taxes is not fun. I don't love the idea of paying more taxes either. What I do understand is that a hospital adds great value to a community, and that the economic development that comes proven when a strong hospital is in your community, then you will also have a strong and thriving community.
Informative sessions open to the public will be held before the election.
I hope everyone explores all the issues, gets informed, and comes out in April and votes as their conscience guides them.
The issue is now in the hands of the voters as they head to the polls on April 7th. Reporting in Vernon County, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
If the vote passes, a hospital district board would be elected as well. Commissioner Thompson did not respond to KOAM's request for comment. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, we've got friends from the Cherokee County Health Department in the studio talking about women's health. Well, welcome back. We've got Peyton and Gayla from the Cherokee County Health Department in the studio with us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And you guys have a pretty exciting event coming up that's really, helping support women's health. Is that right?
We do. On February the 13th, we will have our kickoff event with the American Breast Company, along with Early Detection Works, and also with Mercy in Columbus that helps to do mammograms. So we have a new program where we have written a grant through the Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas, the Rita Bicknell Grant Fund. And with that, we will purchase bras for women who have had mastectomies, post-mastectomy, and along with their prosthetics as well.
Amazing. Why was this a program you guys wanted to get involved with or try to make happen here in Cherokee County?
Well, we realize that it's an underserved population, that sometimes insurance companies do not always pay for those devices, so for the bras and the prosthetics, and they're quite pricey. And so we determined that there were a lot of women that may not have insurance at this time that may pay for that. So we wanted to make sure that we provided something that not only is very useful for them, but also they're quite pretty. So we're very pleased about that. So we went with a great company, and we feel like it supports the women in this community well.
Amazing. Now, for the women who, can take part of this program, are there any prerequisites, or is there anything they should need to know?
They just need to have one of the standing orders that we have copies of from the company, and they need to have that completed by their doctor that gives any specific recommendations for what they need, and then they can come in and they get to pick out whatever that they want. And so we fit them, so we are custom fitters for that. So we will fit them for the devices and allow them to also try on the different bras, and then we'll get them fit for that, and they'll have something nice.
And it's for the uninsured and underinsured is what it's for.
Amazing. What do you hope the women who are able to take part in this program, what do you hope they're able to take away from it?
That they're supported, so that we have recognized that that is something that they really need, and that we have found a way to provide something for them that is not just the ordinary. We found something that is very nice, and it gives them that type of support even after that they have went such traumatic surgeries that they've went through, that we can provide something for them that makes them feel better.
Amazing. I know you were saying this is the kickoff event. Is there any kind of idea of, how long this program is going to get to last here?
We hope that we'll be able to continue it even after the grant finishes. So we plan to continue to provide that service, and then therefore those that have insurance, we plan to go ahead and be able to bill for those, and even if they don't have insurance, to be able to try to work with them in some way. And to continue to try to find additional grant funding to help support the program for those that don't have insurance.
Amazing. So one more time, can you tell us when and where this kickoff event is going to be taking place?
So it'll be at Cherokee County Health Department on Friday, February 13th at 10 o'clock. And they don't need to bring anything. We'll talk about it, and then we'll set up a time for them to have their custom fitting, and they can choose what devices that they want, what bras and prosthetics.
Amazing. And if they're for whatever reason not able to meet that kickoff event, is there a certain place they should go or call to maybe learn more information?
They can just call the health department at that time, and we can set up a personal time as well.
Well, thank you guys so much. It sounds like it's an incredible program. I'm sure people of Cherokee County are going to be very excited for it.
Yes, we're excited for it.
Well, thank you guys so much. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, coming up on 7/19 on this Wednesday. February the 4th. We're halfway through this week. And this week, while we've had some chilly days, and today will be included, has certainly been better than the last couple of weeks, and it's going to get even better just in time for the weekend. So not a big cool down this weekend. It's going to be a lot better. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, today, we're going to have a mix of mostly cloudy to, in some cases, just straight up cloudy skies today. An isolated sprinkle or two possible, although any shower chances are very low. Most of us won't see anything, and those that do, you may not even notice it happened, especially if you're indoors. It could be over like that. But as we go overnight tonight, winds become calm, just like last night into the early morning, and then they'll pick up again, but they're going to really ramp up tomorrow. So we start mostly cloudy tomorrow morning. We're going to be a little bit on the cold side, but seasonably so is the expectation. Clouds will begin to clear out throughout the morning into the afternoon, and those southwest winds are going to start to ramp up in the morning as well. And they're going to start gusting upwards of 25. So be prepared for some gusty winds, but those gusty winds bringing in much warmer air tomorrow, and it will get warmer yet. So if tomorrow's temperatures, when we show them to you, aren't warm enough, don't worry. We're going to get even warmer this weekend. This weekend is just looking fantastic, and it's been a minute. The last couple of weekends, 2 weekends ago, we had the snowstorm, and then last weekend, while we didn't have the snow, we had the temperatures drop again. So this one's going to be great. We're breezy throughout the day on Thursday. We go overnight. We'll even see winds shift out of the northwest heading into Friday morning, and by Friday afternoon and evening, those winds will begin to shift out of the north. But despite the north breeze, Friday will be even warmer than Thursday. And by the afternoon and evening, a few passing clouds will be possible. Otherwise, we're looking at mostly clear skies. Most of our day Friday will be sunny. It's going to be fantastic out there. It doesn't look fantastic now. It's cloudy. It's a little dark out, but that's all right. It's all right. We just got to get through today, and it's going to be great. We're going to be into the upper 20s start. Really, a lot of us still in the low 30s. We did not get as cold as the expectation was last night, and I just have not changed this. I have to change those numbers manually. But most of us have been hanging out in the low 30s. Not a lot of movement in the temperatures this morning, but we've been hanging out in the low 30s. We'll eventually make the mid 30s by 11 a.m. So that's the thing, though, is with the cloud cover, it does act as that thermal blanket, and it did keep the air a few degrees warmer than the expectation, but it also prohibits us from doing a lot of warming when the sun can't get through. So we're only looking at highs at about 40 degrees today. The north winds at about 5 to 10. So at least we don't have to worry about gusty winds today making it feel any colder. We'll be mostly cloudy through the evening, down around freezing by 10 o'clock tonight. Now the expectation is that we'll be seasonably cold tonight, but that was the expectation last night, back into the mid-20s. The thing is, I think it's more likely that we'll reach these lows tonight simply because our cloudy skies, like we're seeing now, will begin to thin out a bit. We'll be a little more open on the air, and so that will allow us to get a little colder out there as we lose some of the heat from the mostly cloudy skies. Now, let's talk about temperatures after today. Low mid-50s tomorrow, low 60s, some upper 50s all the way through the weekend. This is the greatest weekend we've had in a hot minute. It's going to be nice. Get out there, enjoy it. Maybe a sprinkle or two Sunday, some shower chances late Monday into early Tuesday, and we stay mild most of next week. A few scattered showers and storms possible by next Thursday. That is a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Topping Health Watch. New research shows the drug semaglutide may reduce the risk of heart failure for people with type 2 diabetes. A study published in JAMA looked at nearly 10,000 participants. Patients had a lower risk of heart failure if they were taking oral semaglutide compared with patients taking a placebo. Heart failure is a common complication of diabetes. Well, if you're looking for a little motivation to get moving, this next story shows that age is just a number. A longtime dance teacher is proving staying active can keep you young at heart. Tina Cross has the story.
Lina! A fitness class is getting underway in this English village, and everyone in the room can feel the energy this 93-year-old teacher is about to unleash. Doreen Hargraves has been an exercise instructor since 1962.
I love music and I love dancing.
Regulars in her class call her a legend, England's longtime Keep Fit queen.
She's an excellent teacher and she knows everything and we just got to keep up with her.
I've always danced since I was about 3 or 4 years ago. I did a lot of kicking and high kicks and on the floor, but I can't do that now. Well, I can get my leg up, but I could get on the floor, but a lot of the people said, Doreen, please don't go on the floor, we'll never get up. Carry on. right, carry on.
Hargrave says the strength she gets from classes she teaches twice a week helps her at home.
That's my husband.
As a full-time carer for her 95-year-old husband, Stanley.
We used to go away ballroom dancing every weekend. 3 years ago, he had to have 5 toes off because he had sepsis. He just can't do anything for himself. I do anything for him.
That same enthusiasm inspires her whole community.
She's fabulous, isn't she? She's wonderful.
Gives me a reason to get up in the morning. She's such an inspiration. I just hope I'm going to be like her when I'm 93.
And that's something these ladies say they'll raise a glass to.
Ladies, keep fit for 2026.
Tina Kraus.
Well, some of those younger students say they're worn out halfway into the class, but Doreen is still going full throttle, so that keeps them going too. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Samantha Walker. Well, warmer weather is helping melt away the snow, but it may also trigger some returning health problems. As Nick Kelly reports, allergy specialists are already busy treating patients.
The forecast has highs back in the 50s later this week, with some approaching 60. Dr. Eric Mertensmeyer says while people are eager to get out and enjoy the outdoors again, he has seen warmer temperatures trigger certain cedar and juniper trees to start budding and blooming again and trigger allergies.
Last spring, trees that are more considered the pollen producers in the month of March, I think they were becoming a problem more like the 3rd or 4th week in February last year.
He knows some who reported the resurgence of spring allergens back in December, especially with highs 30 degrees above normal on Christmas Day. With the long-range outlook keeping the warmth through the middle of the month, he'll stay busy helping patients keep the symptoms under control.
Kind of the traditional symptoms: itchy eyes, sneezing, runny nose, maybe sore throat. I've had some suffering myself, and I've had to treat myself for that.
Even if some of your allergies are trying to return, experts still say your best option is over-the-counter medications at your grocery or drugstore.
Despite many options available, from nasal sprays to pills, name brand or generic, Dr. Mertensmeyer says all these options have active ingredients to help you out. It all comes down to what works best for you and your body.
Flonase is an alcohol-based solution, so it can be irritating to the nose. Nasacort is aqueous-based, so it's more tolerable. Everybody knows Benadryl, but it's also going to have far more side effects than Zyrtec, Claritin, and Allegra.
If your trial and error with over-the-counter medication still doesn't yield results, seek a specialist out for additional testing and the right treatment plan.
It might be a good time to get back on allergy medication ahead of spring. While some antihistamines need between 30 and 90 minutes to have an effect, full effects from certain nasal medications can take 2 weeks. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are cold out there. Don't have to necessarily worry about the trees today, but we will warm up as we head into the weekend, so allergies might become a thing, so do be keeping that in mind. Let's start, though, with this. This is our live look downtown Pittsburgh. It's cloudy, still a wee bit of snow left, but not much. Westco Camera 7th and Range Line, similar situation. The bulk of the remaining snow out there is what's been plowed up in parking lots and on sidewalk edges, things like that. Most of it's gone. Like I left yesterday morning, there was snow in my parking spot in the driveway. I came home and the snow was gone, which I certainly didn't complain about. Snow pretty much gone now from the KDOT Camera 69 Baxter Springs. 2 days ago, still covered. Yesterday, a fair amount of it's still there. Today, it's gone. And our final check, MoDOT Camera 32nd and Range Line Joplin. Looking to the south, plenty of cars out there. Still some snow on the sidewalks, but again, not nearly as much as what we've seen. Temperatures, we did not get as cold as we were expecting. It happens, all right? With the clouds, I think what we ultimately had is we got just warm enough yesterday that it stayed warm enough overnight. We were expecting lows around the mid-20s. The closest we got, I think, was Iola earlier this morning, dropping down to about 28. For the most part, these temperatures have not moved much. We've just been hanging out in low to mid 30s. Now, with that said, that helps kind of solidify the expectations for today, with highs only being about 40 because they're not going to move much with the clouds. Winds, they're light, but it's enough. We've got wind chills back into the mid 20s out there. So our wind chills are where we were expecting temperatures to be, but not the actual temperature. Future track showing us those mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. Again, that's what's going to limit our ability to warm today. So that's why I think our highs, our colder highs today are on track. We'll have an opportunity for an isolated shower, but I think the majority of us are dry, and those who see something, it's not going to add up to much, and if you're indoors, you may not even realize it showered. All right, so about 30 by 9, mid-30s by noon, and we'll go right around 40 for those highs, north winds 5 to 10. Now tonight, we're expecting to be seasonably cold, back into the mid-20s. I think that's also a better possibility or probability. We'll talk about that and just how much warmer it's going to get in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. For some time, Galena, Kansas has been dealing with a persistent odor problem coming from the city's landfill. The smell stems from hydrogen sulfide gas produced when gypsum and drywall breaks down. The city has a plan in place to move forward multiple solutions to address the issue for now in hopes of ultimately finding a permanent solution. Questions persist over a proposed solar project in Crawford County. Shasta Energy spoke again at yesterday's commissioners' meeting. The company continues to revise this proposal as residents raise concerns and is also offering direct payments to immediate neighbors. The company says a neighbor survey will determine whether the project moves forward. Shasta has received only 20 of 37 surveys back from neighbors on the east side of the project. Of those returned so far, they say 75% support the proposal. The company also needs the county to lift its moratorium or the project will end. A new group formed in southeast Kansas is asking questions regarding the deep fission project near Parsons. The small modular nuclear reactor is slated to be built deep underground at the Great Plains Industrial Park. Now a group called Prairie Dog Alliance wants answers to a variety of questions. Everything from who owns what's 1 mile deep into the earth to who's the point of contact for oversight.
There was a lot of just educating as far as I had to do a lot of convincing that this was a real project to a couple of the engineers, and they said they don't believe that it is of any sort of benefit to the local community.
The group is hosting a meeting for concerned citizens on Saturday. It starts at 10 a.m. at the Wall Event Center in Parsons. The Joplin First Presbyterian Church holds a First Tuesday luncheon to raise money for local charities. The church tells KOAM that they do this because they are called to be good neighbors to the community. The menu is a spaghetti lunch with a slice of cake.
First Presbyterian Church has done this lunch for us a lot of times, and it's just they are one of many organizations that help us. It's very important. We could not make it without the community support from agencies like First Presbyterian Church.
These lunches are also a way for people to give back to the community without having to give up a lot of time. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A high school in Tacoma marks the 55th anniversary of ping pong diplomacy. In Consumer Watch, Planned Parenthood drops its legal battle against the Trump administration over Medicaid cuts. The nonprofit organization has been fighting to block part of President Trump's tax bill since July in an attempt to prevent the administration from cutting off Medicaid funding to its clinics across the country. The decision to dismiss the lawsuit comes after a federal appeals court ruled back in December that the administration could continue to withhold Medicaid funding. Planned Parenthood says almost half of its patients rely on Medicaid funding, and 23 of its clinics have shut down due to the tax bill. PepsiCo is cutting prices by as much as 15% on some of its brands, including Lay's potato chips and Cheetos. The Wall Street Journal says the change follows pushback from customers, a flood of emails and voicemail messages complaining prices are too high, and more people were buying beverages from PepsiCo in the holiday quarter. The parent company of Pepsi drinks Lay's potato chips, Gatorade, and Many other products says it's seeing strong sales of low sugar beverages in the U.S. and robust demand for its sodas internationally. There's been a switch on Nintendo's list for its best-selling console. The gaming company reports the original Switch has surpassed its DS in all-time sales. The first Switch, which was released in 2017, has earned more than 155 million unit sales as of December 2025, while the DS comes in at just over 154 million unit sales since its release in 2004. Meanwhile, the company says the Nintendo Switch 2, which was launched last year, saw a strong holiday surge in sales. However, the PlayStation 2 still beats the original Switch for the best-selling console of all time by more than 4.6 million units. Those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News 743 on this Wednesday morning. Another look at your forecast for you. So today, while we did not get as cold as we were expecting to last night, not that that's a bad thing, I do think that the cloud cover is going to hinder our ability to warm because we're looking at a lot more cloud cover today than what we saw yesterday. So mostly cloudy skies, which would mean, here and there some peaks of sun, but in a lot of cases we may end up being just straight up cloudy at times. We could get also an isolated sprinkle or two later today. If we see anything, first off, to be very isolated. Most of us won't see anything, and those that do, it's not going to add up to too terribly much for you. Now, overnight tonight, we're expecting the mid-20s again. I think part of why that's a lot more probable tonight than what we ended up getting to last night into this morning is not as much cloud cover tonight as we're experiencing now. We'll have a little bit of clearing, and that should allow us to drop a bit more in those temperatures. But it's all right, because tomorrow we're going to start to warm. Now, we'll have calm winds late this evening and overnight. They'll begin to shift out of the southwest, and through the morning, as our skies clear, those winds are going to pick up. And as we head into the afternoon, we're looking at clearing skies and southwest winds occasionally gusting up to 25 miles an hour. So it's going to be breezy. Some of you a little further west, you can see we're right along this this pressure gradient, so you may get northwest winds that'll be gusting to 25. But either way, still bringing in some warmer air. Clear skies continue overnight Thursday into Friday, and even on Friday, the winds briefly shift out of the northwest. They may shift out of the west, and then by Friday afternoon and evening, they're going to shift back out of the north. But even as they do so, none of that is going to have an impact on our temperatures. We're sunny most of the day, with maybe a few clouds a little later Friday afternoon into the evening hours. For today, though, see, this is why we didn't get as cold as was expected. Because of the cloud cover, we've talked about how it acts as a thermal blanket, and I think that's what worked to our favor, is it ended up keeping us a little warmer last night than what we were looking at. So we were looking at lows, 25, 26 last night. The lowest we saw was Iola at 28 this morning. Most of us have been hovering in the low 30s, but that's the other side of the cloud cover. It's not going to let much sunlight in, so that's why we aren't expecting much warming today. It's why we're going to be colder today. That's why these temperatures don't move much. And through the morning, a lot of us have just been sitting at roughly the same temperature for the last about 3 hours now. We've seen maybe a degree or two in movement, and that's about it. So we'll go about the mid-30s by 11. Eventually, we should reach highs on average of about 40 degrees out there. And again, mostly cloudy to straight up cloudy skies, and that north wind at 5 to 10. Mostly cloudy through the evening, which again does work in our favor in slowing the temperature drop. We're down to about freezing by 10. But like I said, we should get a little more clearing tonight, and that should allow us to get a little colder. Not like we want to, but this is seasonable. Mid-20s, winds expected to be calm again over tonight. Now, winds pick up tomorrow, but it brings in that warmer air, low mid-50s. This weekend is looking outstanding, which is why everybody should have Friday and Saturday off. Everybody should, and everybody won't, unfortunately. But if you can, enjoy it. Look at this. The low 60s out there. Beautiful weekend ahead of us. Could get some rain chances late Monday into early Tuesday. Still staying mild out there. 50s and 60s next week. A few showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms possible by next Thursday. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
A man breaks into a California ice cream shop to seemingly satisfy a late-night craving. A man broke into Mr. Frosty, a San Diego ice cream shop, early Sunday morning.
Now, surveillance footage shows the man climbing through a shop window before knocking over a container of ice cream, which he then attempts to clean off the floor. But instead of taking cash, they look at him. He's doing all right. He appears to grab an ice cream cone and then heads toward the counter or refrigerator unit.
Although the man did break the law, Mr. Frosty owner John C. says he finds the incident funny.
He wanted an ice cream cone in the middle of the night. And
I would be
sometimes,
using that as like advertisement.
I mean, when the cravings hit, that's the thing, when the craving hits, like, come on down to Mr. Frosty's.
And you know what? He was a seemingly polite thief.
Yeah.
Yes, he broke in. Yes.
He
broke
shouldn't
in.
have done that.
He shouldn't have done that.
But he
he
cleaned
took
up his
one
mess.
thing. He took an ice cream cone and he cleaned up his mess.
Yeah, and he had his scoop of ice cream, and that was it. We need more. Apparently, we need more 24-hour
ice cream shops.
Ice cream shops for
Something.
sure. Yeah. All right, these thieves might be cuter, but they still cause their fair share of mischief. A pair of pooch pirates caught on camera swiping a package off of a front porch.
Yes, you heard that correctly. These thieves aren't humans, they're dogs. This video shared by Oklahoma City Police shows one dog walking up to a home in broad daylight and swiping the package. He's just getting it.
Another dog then walks up and the two walk off. The package, filled with drill bits, that's what they needed, was later found all torn up. Police say the dogs, if found, are facing multiple charges, including conspiracy to commit snack theft, positively impersonating master thieves, and being ferociously adorable.
Aww.
They have not yet been apprehended.
But, they're busy building whatever they
needed the drill bits for, man. Whatever, okay.
Well, yesterday in Washington State, students at a high school in Tacoma marked the 55th anniversary of ping pong diplomacy. It was a day to remember the 1971 table tennis exchange that helped to warm relations between the United States and China.
That was when China invited the U.S. national table tennis team to its country for matches. In Tacoma, Lincoln High School has had a long-running exchange program with China.
Lincoln students have traveled to China in reciprocal visits. Tuesday's event included matches and presentations and musical performances to highlight the school's program.
Now, some of the U.S. team members from 1971 were also in attendance for the anniversary. The school's program has gained international attention.
In 2015, Chinese President Xi Jinping visited Lincoln High School students.
Okay, see? That's how we need to handle things, apparently. Let's just get some ping pong going. I mean, the president of China visited Tacoma, Washington to see this school. That's how we handle the world leader situation, is over some ping pong or something.
And maybe it's what we need to use for like workplace, disputes as well, as being like, gosh, I wanted to read that tease, Chris.
Oh, well, we can just ping pong it out. Well, the claw.
That's a very good impression.
That wasn't great, but couples can step inside Dave and Buster's Human Crane, a life-size claw machine experience. By the way, it's from Toy Story.
I know.
Well, I'm not just for you. I guess for you folks at home, too. So it's for high-stakes Valentine's Day proposal. So here's what we've got.
The arcade and sports bar is placing 5 $15,000 3-carat diamond engagement rings inside the Human Crane at select stores for couples that are ready to take their relationship to the next level. The Human Crane is a full-body arcade experience that turns guests into the action by lowering them into a pit of oversized prizes where they can grab an iconic reward.
Now, for couples looking to skip crowded restaurants and overpriced menus this Valentine's Day, Dave & Buster's is offering the $99 date night duo deal at all locations Monday through Friday leading up to the holiday, designed to spark friendly competition, shared laughs, and a date night that's far more fun than a traditional dinner out. The all-in-one experience includes 2 90-minute all-you-can-play game cards with a sit-down meal featuring your choice of 1 appetizer, 2 entrees, and 1 dessert. That certainly seems interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we got another check of your forecast and wake up recap right after this.
This is your Wake Up Recap for February 4th. Your top stories to start your day. A house fire in Newton County last night was followed by extensive response from emergency services. Fire agencies that responded include crews from Reddings Mill, Diamond, Neosho, Seneca, Dunaweg, and Joplin. The large residence was located about a mile from Spurgeon Township. No injuries to residents or firefighters were reported. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
All right, we've got ourselves a chilly day out there. Only about 40, mostly cloudy skies and in some cases straight up cloudy. North winds 5 to 10, maybe an isolated sprinkle or two. I'll have mostly cloudy skies through the evening and overnight, expected to be seasonably cold again, back down to the mid-20s. Southwest winds gusting to 25 tomorrow, bringing in warmer air and clearing skies. Low 50s. Then we start seeing the 60s into this weekend, and we get a few rain chances Monday into Tuesday, and maybe a few isolated showers or storms next Thursday. But either way, once we get through today, we are staying mild out there, which we are looking forward to. And now it's time for story time with me. Because yesterday I found a couple of things of interest. I found something else of interest. I can't find it always. You can't always find something of interest, but this is a good one. And I'll make it very brief for you. So a Cuban national here is accused of stealing nearly $4,000 worth of meat from a Florida grocery store. And then you know what he did with it?
What did he do with it, Chris?
He threw it all away. And he threw it down. Do you want to know why he threw it all away? Okay, so he made off with about $1,500 worth of beef and lamb, and 20 minutes later stole another 2 grams worth of pork, top sirloin, brisket, tenderloin, personal care products, 2 different grocery stores, mind you. And so the thing is he drove to his girlfriend's house. All right, he stole it for this. He threw it all away because he found his girlfriend there cooking with another man.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's in jail, facing some charges, bad situation, silly thing to do. That's our story for today, and that's our time for today. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.